What is up, ladies and gentlemen? So I want to show you a quick example problem of solving systems of linear equalities with elimination. Solving systems, my handwriting's terrible, with elimination. Okay? So to make things easier for me to tell you what I'm looking at, it's going to be yellow, this is going to be green, and this is going to be blue. Okay? So what we want to do, our goal here is to essentially find out what x, y, and z are. And remember, this x is the same as this x, the same as that. These y's are the same, these z's are the same. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing this. We're trying to find out what x, y, and z are. So what we need to do is you need to match up two of these, okay? So let's look at which ones we're going to match up. I always choose the one that has the x, y, or z that looks like it can, be the opposite of each other. And what I mean by that is I mean that, like right here, you've got -5 and +5. That's what you're trying to do. Your goal is to either make this 4, -4, 5, -5, or 4, -4. So you want to make these things to where they're, I call them opposite. I don't know what the correct term is, but that's what you're going for. So I'm going to take these two equations and I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to put them over here and we're going to solve with that. Sound good? So I'm ignoring everything else and I'm just doing this. Now, I don't have to do anything to these. We're going to get to stuff that you have to do stuff for, but we don't have to do anything because right here, you see that? They're already opposites. And here's why we need them to be opposites. Again, for lack of a better term, let's call them opposites. Now, what I want to do is I want to add these two together, these two equations together. So I'm going to stay in my x lane. I'm going to do 4x plus 1x. Anytime there's something there, you always know it's 1. So 4 plus 1 is 5x. Now, whenever I add this little lane together, it's -5y plus 5y. That's going to be 0. That's why we want to do it, because it cancels it out. And our goal right now is to get rid of either an x, y, or z. We want to get rid of one of those because it eliminates one of those variables and allows us to solve this problem, okay? I got to keep going. I'm going to add this row together, column together. We got 4z plus -z, which would be 4 plus -1, which is +3z. Is it okay if I erase this right here because it's, ugly? Okay, I've got to bring down my equal sign, so equal sign, and then I want to add these two together as well. 19 plus -20 is -1. Okay, so this equation right here, that's perfect. I have one that just has two variables. Now, I need to do that again with any two, of these equations over here. I need to do it with any two of these, the yellow, green, or blue, that aren't the green or blue that I just used. So let's do this. I'm going to grab the yellow and the green. Is that cool with y'all? Cool, because I'm doing it. Okay, so let's move this over here. Now I'm going to do the same thing I just did. I'm going to solve this problem. Now this one's not going to be quite as easy. Well, I probably shouldn't get rid of the greens and the yellows. That helps you guys, doesn't it? Okay, so what I want to do is I want to solve this, but there's no clear oh, those aren't opposites, those aren't opposites, those aren't opposites. So it's not as clear. However, I know what I need to get rid of is the y, because that's what I got rid of over here. All right? Now, so I'm looking at it. So I need these two right here to be opposites of each other. Right now, they're the exact same thing. So here's what you do. To do this, you are going, I didn't mean to do that. So to do this, you need to make one of these flip to a positive. So what you're allowed to do is you can either choose this equation or this equation, and you can multiply the whole equation by a number, all right? So let's say I want to change this one right here. I'll change the top one. I need to multiply that whole equation by -1 because my goal is for this to be +5. That way these can cancel out. Now, the only thing that makes that a +5 is multiplying it by -1. So I need to distribute this little chicken nugget to all 4 of these, okay? I'm going to rewrite it down here if that's okay with you guys. So that's now +x. That's now +5y. That's now positive 5z, and that's now negative 2. Okay, so I'm going to show you this as the yellow equation again so we don't get confused. Okay, now I'm going to do what I did on that very first one where I add these two together. This one, 4x plus 1x is 5x. These two added together cancel out, make 0. It's exactly what we want. This one right here, we're going to do 4z plus 5z, which is 9z. And then 19 plus negative 2 is positive 17. Okay, so now I have these two equations, this one and this one. I've gotten rid of y for both equations, which is exactly what I want. Now I'm going to rewrite these down here. Okay, so I'm going to put this one right here. So it's 5x plus 3z equals negative 1. And I'm going to put this one right here. So 5x plus 9z equals 17. Okay, excellent. Now, I again need to make either the x's or the z's opposites of each other. Which one do you guys think is going to be easier? Spoiler alert, it's this one. Because the numbers are the same, we just need to make the signs different. We're going to do the same thing we did on the last one. I'm going to multiply the top by negative 1, distribute into all three of those. It's going to be negative 5x. It's going to be negative 3z. That's going to be positive 1. Okay? I'm going to add these two together now. I'm going to take this one, cancels out, exactly what we were going for. This is now 6z, because 9 minus 3 is 6. And then I put my equal sign, and then I add these two together, so it's 18. Then I just solve for this. So get rid of the 6, so it means I got to divide both sides by 6. So that cancels out. What does it cancel out? It turns it into 1. So z equals 3. My goal is to get z by itself. Now, I'm almost done. It doesn't feel like it because we had like 3 chunks to just do this one thing. When you're writing your answers, z goes over here, y here, and x here. Okay, it's just like the alphabet, x, y, z. So now I can put this one right here. So this is 3. Okay, so now all you have to do, you don't have to do all this craziness that we did before. Now all you're doing is you're plugging this z, oops, that's the eraser. You're plugging this z in to your equations and then working your way backwards. Okay, so I can choose either one of these, this one or this one, and I'm going to plug it into either one. I'm going to choose, let's say I'm going to choose this one, okay? So I'm going to choose that one to plug in my z. I'm going to write it down here. So I've got 5x plus 9 times z, which z is equal to 3, equals 17. Okay? Now I'm going to solve this equation. 9 times 3 is 27. I'm sorry about that. Been a minute since I've done some math. Okay? Then we got 5x here. We need to, I'm sorry, got ahead of myself. Do the math correctly so you can see. Minus 27 on both sides. That cancels out. This is 5x. This is now negative 10. Now I have to get rid of the 5, so I'm going to divide both sides by 5. X equals negative 2. Okay? So we've got another one. So my x, I'm going to plug that in over here. Negative 2. Okay? And now we're almost done. You could probably guess what we're going to do for the last one. We're going to work our way all the way back to our original equations, and we need to plug in the x and the z that we have and find that y, that oh so precious y that was cut out in the beginning. So we can pick any of these 3. Up here, I'm going to choose, let's say I'm going to choose this one. Yeah, you got chosen, little buddy. I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to bring it down here. And I'm going to solve this. Okay, let's erase that blue. Nope, that's not the eraser. That one is. Okay, so now I'm going to plug in what I know, which I know that my x is negative 2. So negative 2 goes there. Plus 5y, because we don't know y. Negative, don't forget your signs here, guys. That's a good way to mess up right here at the finish line. Don't forget your signs. Now I'm going to plug in my z, which is right here. It's my 3. I didn't even do that. It's 3. So minus 3 equals negative 20. Now I just need to solve this. So I'm finishing out this equation. Sorry about that. So let's combine like terms. So I'm going to leave 5y, negative 2, We're going to do that like regular math because we're not going across the equal sign. So that's negative 5 equals negative 20. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So, I'm sorry, add 5 to both sides. Gets rid of it over here. Going to bring down my 5y equals negative 15. Divide both sides by 5. Y equals negative 3. All right. And then we're going to plug that in up here. And I'm assuming this right here is what your teacher is going to want. I'm going to write it down here. So my x is negative 2, which is still correct. I've got my y, which is negative 3. And I've got my z, which is 3. And that should be your final answer. Okay, hope this helped. If you would subscribe, all your dreams come true. See you guys later. Stay good and